The big desire that a lot of people have is money. I don't think a day passes and someone doesn't tell me, what do you think of Bitcoin? What do you think of Bitcoin? It's at this amount, it's at that amount. Is it a good investment? Is it a bad investment? Or they ask me about the stock market in general, because the stock market apparently is in all-time highs. And they keep asking, what do you think of this? And 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 what do you think of this? Now, why do I tell you this? Because number one, I don't think about it. That's the good news. I don't think about it, I don't follow it, and really the only way I know what's going on is somebody's telling me. But the real important part, how do I know?
It's a bubble.
How do I know it's a bubble? I was in the business for almost 20 years. You don't need to know too much to know it's a bubble. And the reason why is because there's an old saying, when a taxi driver is giving you stock tips, it's a bubble. When the average Joe is asking you if he should invest, or he's telling you what to invest in, it's a bubble. The average Joe everywhere somehow is becoming an investor right now. Every guy that has 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, all of a sudden is a guru. Wants to invest in the market, opens their own accounts, open their own days. Obviously, it's 100% bubble. But no one wants to listen. No one cares what I say. Who cares? I don't even want to give the advice. I left the business for a reason. So now I'm going to do it for free. But why am I telling you this? Because the funniest thing in the world, that's very sad though, it's funny but it's sad, is that every single time someone tells me, they ask me the question, what do I think of this and what do I think of this? I say, listen, if you tell me, I'm going to give Mussar, I'm going to give 10% Mussar, I'm going to give 10% to your Kiruv organization. You know, it's tzedakah is important, tzedakah. I'm going to give Mussar. The guy sent me a text early this afternoon. He goes, listen, I know you're busy, I know your time is precious, and all these nice, generous compliments I don't deserve anyway. And he says, listen, what do you think of Bitcoin? I'll show you the text. Mamash, I'll show you the text. There's no name on it, so you won't know who it is. See the text. He says, no, and listen, I'll give you Mussar. I'll give you 10% Mussar. It's tzedakah, it's Kiruv, Kvod Harav. If I make money, it's Kiruv. People could do TeShuva. All of a sudden, we all became Moshe Rabbeinu. All of a sudden, everybody became Moshe Rabbeinu. Now, the question I have for everyone that says they're going to give Mussar if this happened, they're going to give Mussar if they become rich, they're going to give Mussar if they sell this house, they're going to give Mussar if they sell the property, they're going to give Mussar if Donald Trump gives them part of his inheritance, they're going to give Mussar if the boss gives... Why didn't you give Mussar now? That's the question. The question they're going to ask you in Shamayim, when you get up to Shamayim and they start giving you, why did you tell the rabbi you're giving Mussar? Why? Why are you a liar? Why are you a liar? Why are you a filthy liar? Who are you kidding? You think you're lying to me? Do you think I care bichlal? You have a problem in Shamayim, you filthy liar. You filthy liar, you have a problem in Shamayim. They ask you, why are you a filthy liar? Why are you telling people, oh, I'm going to give Mussar, I'm going to give Mussar? If you give Mussar, give it now. Why are you giving it now? What do you need? What do you need more money to give Mussar? What do you think? Only rich people give Mussar? The number one donors in the world are poor. Every organization will tell you that. All of the big organizations, whether it's the idolatry organizations or it's Jewish organizations, le'avdil, it doesn't make a difference. The real bread and butter of all the organizations comes from basic people. Yeah, of course you're going to hear about the $100 million donation from this guy and the $100 million donation from that guy, but until they got to the $100 million, they survived from the average Joes. The average Joes that didn't wait to win the lotto to give them Mussar. So what they're going to ask you in Shamayim, who are you kidding? Who are you kidding when you say I have to, if Hashem gives me this, I'm going to do this. If I do this, what, are you giving Hashem conditions? Hashem, if you give me a house, then I'll do Havdalah. Hashem, if you give me a wife, then I'll learn Torah. Hashem, if you give me this, I'll do this. Hashem, if you give me this, I'll do this. One time a guy said it. He says, Hashem, listen. You give me money, no problem. You give me $1 million in the bank. Make sure that my wife is happy. Make sure the kids are this. Make sure that I don't have any health problems. Make sure that this, make sure this, make sure this, make sure this, make sure this. I'm going to go to Kola from morning to night. A bat kol from Shamayim came out. I'm not interested. I have other people doing it for $1,000 a month. I don't have to give $1 million. I have people doing it for $1,000 a month. What do I have to give you $1 million for? Not interested. Are you doing Hashem a favor? Who are you kidding? Who are you kidding? All these people are just mamaz making a joke of the system. Oh no, if you do this, I'm going to give you maaser. Wait, you need your maaser? Hashem will provide one way or another. But why are you lying for your own sake? For your own sake. Maybe, just maybe, if you think about it for a second, maybe the maaser today is worth a lot more in Shamayim than the maaser when you have 100,000. If you have 100,000 in the bank and you didn't give maaser, you should know you're a thief. Why? You didn't give $10,000. Now everyone thinks, myself included, when I used to have money, I was certain that I'm giving plenty. I was positive. Positive! I mean, I bought Sefer Torah, I would donate to a Knesset anytime I saw it. Not that often, but every time I saw a Knesset, checks, no problem. No, I didn't have the bidding war. I didn't do, they do bidding wars in Sephardic shuls. When there's aliyot, you want to buy, this guy says 1,000, this guy 10,000, 5,000, 2,000, 3,000. There was no competition. Why? I just throw off a big number. And no one would compete with it. And they'll tell me, listen, what are you doing? You can compete. Maybe you can get it for cheaper. I'm like, I don't care about cheaper. I just want to give. Tzaddik, whatever you want to say. That's, there's compliments for somebody else. Point is, I didn't care about the money. I just wanted to give. I just wanted to give. And you get a discount. Discount for what? What is this? Groceries? But the point is that I thought with that type of attitude, since I didn't really care about money much, to me it's just a tool, it's like a hammer. Anybody comes to my office, wants money, I give him money. Anybody needs a loan, I give him money. Anybody needs an investment, I give him money. I figured I'm giving plenty. You know what's the proof I wasn't? Proof, for sure. I know for sure I wasn't. I gave tons. I gave 7 figures. You could do the math. 7 figures I gave. For sure. I'm not talking about I gave 10,000, 20,000. I gave over $1 million. Still not enough. Know how I know for sure I didn't give enough? I lost it. What's the proof? Maaser v'titasher. You give maaser, you titasher. You give maaser, you become rich. There's no way you're going to give maaser and become poor. Nakdimon ben Gurion. Gemara says he's one of 3 people that Hashem stopped the sun for him. One time, there was a journey they would have annually. All the tzaddikim from different parts of the world would come visit. And he would host them. But you need to supply these people with water. So he went to a Arab, and he said to him, listen, I need the water. The wells that you have, all the wells that you have 12 wells. Give me the water. He goes, why would I give you my water? I need money, I need this. He goes, listen, you're going to be provided with the water, I'll pay you, but I need it right now. Long story short, he says, listen, I'll give you full wells back, whatever you're giving me right now with the water, on this specific date, it's going to be exactly as you gave it to me, as if nothing changed. And if not, I'll fill up all of the wells with gold. That's how much money he had. It was just not possible to get other water. So it's a good deal. A time goes by, the day of the return comes back, there hasn't been rain, there hasn't been a drop, and the wells are empty. The Arab sends a servant, laughing his way to the bank, saying, oh, okay, start filling them up. Nakdimon says, hold on a second, I said I'm going to pay you at the end of the day. He goes, at the end of the day, if it starts raining right now and it stops tomorrow night, it's still not going to be enough. He goes, don't worry, I have a deal, I'll honor the deal. But the deal's not over yet, I have till the end of the day. Nakdimon ben Gurion goes into the Bet HaMikdash. Hashem Yitbarach, I didn't do it for me. I did it for your children. Why do I have to pay your loan? It started drizzling. Drizzling. Not enough. Afternoon came. The Arab comes back. He goes, no, come on. What, you think this drizzle is going to do anything? Nothing is going to happen. Hold on a second. He goes back to Bet HaMikdash. Starts praying again. Hashem Yitbarach. We need more. We need this. Da, da, da. Long story short, it starts raining. And it fills up the wells. Now the guy, the Arab sends the guy, and he says, listen, yes, your God obviously is the greatest God, but I still have a problem with your God. He goes, why? My deal was that I'm going to get the wells back by the time that the sun went down. Before the sun went down. By the time the wells were actually full, the sun went down already 15 minutes. Nakdimon ben Gurion said, 1 second. He goes back to the Bet HaMikdash. He says, Hashem Yitbarach, there's a Chilul Hashem now. He says that we broke the deal because of 15 minutes. Hashem took the sun back and put it back in the sun. Put it back in the sky. For who? For Nakdimon ben Gurion. So it's not like some average Am Haaretz didn't know anything. Tzaddik, Ashir, and everything else. One day Rabbi Yochanan sees his daughter looking into the tzoah, into the waist of the chamorim, of the donkeys, of the Arabs. He says, who are you? He goes, oh, I'm looking for food. He goes, what are you looking for? He goes, oh, I'm looking for grains of wheat that the donkeys didn't digest. Because whose daughter are you? He says, I'm the daughter of Nakdimon ben Gurion. He goes, how could it be? Your father's a big Baal Chesed, he's Ashir, he's very rich. How is it possible? She says he used to be rich. He used to be a Baal Chesed. He lost everything. Rabbi Yochanan says, how could it be? He gave a lot of tzedakah. And the daughter herself says, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. You think that your little $50 that you give and your $100 that you give and $200 that you give is not a big deal? If it's maaser, it's enough. If it's maaser. If it's not maaser, even if it's $1 million, not enough. Maaser works off of the gross. Now, the weak generation, the way usually most people start is they give off the net. But the real mitzvah is giving off of the gross. You make $1,000 from wherever you work. They pay you $1,000. Before you pay your expenses, your house, your mortgage, your this, your that, you have to pay $100, 10% of that $1,000 as maaser. That's the original mitzvah. Some people that are tzaddikim give 20%, chomish. Meaning you get $1,000, they give $200, 20%. But the mitzvah is 10%. Now, this weak generation, most people don't even give the 10%. So usually what people do to get them to get started, it's not the full mitzvah, but it's nonetheless it's something, is to give the 10% off of the net, meaning after you pay your expenses. So you made $1,000, your rent or mortgage was $500, your food was another $300, you have, let's say, $200 left profit, you give 10% of the $200 that's left. So it's now $20. It's not really maaser, but it's at least something. It'll get you used to giving. And that's the key that people need to understand, is that when Hashem gives you 100%, He's expecting 10% back. You don't want to do it? That's a problem. That's a problem you have to deal with.
We are meant to be a light unto the nations, not to follow their misguided practices. Remember, every Jew has to remember that he's a Jew and she's a Jew. We don't celebrate non-Jewish holidays, even if they seem harmless. It's a zilzul, disrespect to the Torah, and could lead to Chilul Hashem, desecration of God's name. Stick to our holy Torah and our own holidays. That's the path of a true Jew.